Oh, they're doing the Trump dance where it looks like he's at a party enjoying the company of two men next to him, you know? Yeah, that's the Trump dance.
We are here at CPAC 2025.
She wasn't doing it very well. She must not be very experienced.
And just yesterday, the President of the United States took the stage here, wielding a chainsaw, saying he was going to cut through the bureaucracy.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy.
And then letting out a squeal. And then tomorrow, Donald Trump's going to speak here. So a lot of exciting events here at CPAC.
I wonder how they get in, like the good liars. They never disrupt. They never cause any issues. They just go there and pretend to be all in. And they're so good at it. Oh, my God. You think that people would pick up on this by now?
Chainsaw!
And so you would vote for Donald Trump in a third term?
Yeah, I think I would.
And what do you think about the Constitution?
I'm a constitutionalist.
What about the 22nd Amendment that would prohibit him from running for a third term?
Yeah, I would bother me, but...
It would bother me, she says? Are you kidding me? It would bother me? Hold on, let me just look up the text of the... Okay, the text of the 22nd Amendment. No person shall be elected to office of president more than twice, and no person who's held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which someone... So basically, he can't run for a third term. And he said, would you vote for him for a third term? And she said, yes, I would vote for him in 2028 for a third term. What about the 22nd Amendment? You know, whatever. I'm a constitutionalist, but whatever. The cognitive dissonance in these people's heads.
Think about the Constitution?
I'm a constitutionalist.
What about the 22nd Amendment that would prohibit him from running for a third term?
Yeah, I would bother me, but...
But I'd do it anyway.
But you would still get your vote.
You would still get my vote.
Would you like to see Donald Trump run for a third term?
Of course.
Of course.
Would you like to see Donald Trump run for a third term?
No.
Okay.
George Washington, when he...
He's telling the George Washington story. I appreciate the hell out of that. The one person that gets it there. Why is he even there? Why is he wearing a MAGA hat in the first place? I'm sorry, a MAGA headdress. Why is he wearing that? Trump violates the Constitution constantly. Why is this the thing you care about? George might also be a spy, lol. Yeah, maybe. I don't think so, but could be. That's possible, I suppose. George Washington served 2 terms as the first president, and at the end was asked, are you going to continue to serve? And he said, no, I'm passing it on because we want a president, not a king. And ever since then, every president has given up the position after 2 terms. Not because they legally had to, but out of respect for democracy. George Washington is the one that is considered to have decided that this would be a constitutional democracy rather than a monarchy. And Trump is erasing that, basically. Even if Trump serves for a 3rd term and then he dies and it's not a big deal, it's symbolically destroying the democracy. It's destroying all of the cultural stories and the history and everything that the United States ever stood for. The only person to ever serve more than 2 terms was FDR, and it was during a time of war. Most countries have laws where you can't change leadership during a time of war. And it's because that's when the country is most vulnerable to attacks, to physical attacks, to propaganda attacks, things like that. So we don't have that law here. And FDR probably should have stepped down after 2. But if anyone was going to do it for any reason, then his reason was the most reasonable, if you will. Anyway, if Donald Trump served 3 terms or more, it would destroy democracy completely. It would be symbolically destroying democracy permanently. It would be turning us into a monarchy in spirit, if not in fact. This is the point.
No. George Washington, when he first began his presidency, people were afraid that he would basically become a monarch. And some wanted him to be, because that's kind of what they knew.
Do you think that would be a bad thing if there was a monarchy here in America, I assume?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Donald Trump recently posted, "Long live the king."
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
I think he's excellent at trolling.
What's it going to take for these people to realize that he's not trolling? What is it going to take for what would he have to do to lose this guy's vote? He understands. He knows the Washington story. He knows that why we don't want a monarchy. What is it going to take? Is there anything that can pierce that gigantic lead ball you call a head?
And I think a lot of people. I think that
But is that like funny for the president to be like,
reckless rhetoric.
yeah,
Absolutely.
there you go. You took the words out of my mouth a little bit.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But do you think that having a king goes with the American way of life?
It's just like they call on Elvis the king. King of rock and roll. Michael Jackson's the king of rock and roll. What's the difference? He's the king.
What is the difference? He's a political leader. He is an actual literal political leader. Elvis was not a political leader. It was figurative. It is literal with Donald Trump. Are you kidding me?
King of the presidency for us.
Like he's the king of the presidency.
He is the king of presidency, and I believe that's what he was referring to.
What does that even mean?
And he is our king.
And that's playing to the top of your intelligence. You don't think he meant that he was the king?
Oh, no.
Would you like to see Donald Trump run?
This is what I find so fascinating. It's like these people very clearly don't want that, right? But what happens when he declares himself king? He effectively has, but what if he starts wearing a crown? Is it going to click with him then? Probably not, right? They're just going to say, oh boy, is he good at trolling. He even got a crown. It even has real diamonds and gold and everything. He is so good at trolling.
A third time?
Certainly, I think constitutionally he can do that if he chooses.
No, he can't. That is literally the opposite of what you just said. Constitutionally, he cannot run for a third term.
He can run for a third term?
As far as I know,
You are incorrect.
there's if it's non-contiguous terms, it's sort of one of those netherworlds.
No, it isn't. It's very clear in the Constitution. What he's talking about is a bill that was passed in Congress, basically with the what do you call it? Like the aspiration to be a constitutional amendment where a MAGA diehard basically wrote this amendment to make it so that Trump and only Trump could run for a third term. Obama couldn't because he served 2 consecutive terms, like one after the other. Obama did. And Trump hasn't served 2 consecutive terms. What does consecutive have to do with anything? Why would that be a part of the equation at all? So this dude is trying to weasel his way into giving Trump and only Trump a way of being president for a third term.